Hello, Cracker here. Welcome to another exciting tutorial. Today we're going to be taking a look at an introductory aspect of Oxygen templating. So creating templates in Oxygen. So if you're new to Oxygen, this might be very helpful to you. And I've had a couple of people ask, about how to create templates in Oxygen. So even though we have a lot of videos on it, I thought I should take a take on it and give some tips on how to properly set up some of these templates. This is just an introductory video, so I'm gonna go over to Oxygen templates. So we're gonna be creating a couple of templates that are very vital when you want to build a website, depending on the website you want to build. We're going to cover the main template. We're going to cover the 404 page template. That is usually the one that a lot of people forget to create. And you want to cover the search result template, especially if you're building a blog website, you want to have that. And generally any website, you need to have that. And we're going to create the blog post, a single blog post, and the blog archive, and also the we're also going to create the blog index. Okay, let's start. So I'm going to hit add a template. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the main template. So I'm just going to go to main. All right, and by design, the Oxygen template is designed to inherit another template. So since we don't have any other template, our main template is the primary template, and so it's going to be the primary template. Other templates are going to inherit the main template. So let me just name it properly. Okay, and then the only setting that is very necessary in this one is just to go and check catch all. So this is all you need to do in this place for the main template. Now typically the main template is what contains your header and your footer. So if you have a header and a footer, and then it contains the inner content in between the header and the footer, the inner content serves to display the contents of any page or any template that inherits the main template. You'll understand as we go along. So I'm going to hit publish, and then I'm going to add another template. So this one is going to be the 404 template, and then we go to other, just hit 404, and normally other templates are supposed to inherit the main template, but as you can see, there is no option to inherit the main template, and that is because to inherit the main template, the main template needs to have an inner content. Okay, so because we have not set the inner content for our main template, we cannot inherit it. So I'm just going to publish this, and then I'm going to go to edit the inner content, the main template, and include an inner content. So I'm just going to take this shortcut here and then open the main template. And while that is opening, let me go ahead and add another template, and this one is going to be the search results template. I'm just going to call it search results. Publish, and then add another template, which is going to be the blog index. Now let's go out. So let's go here first. What I want to do is just to pick maybe a header and footer from a design set, and then drop an inner content in this so let me set it to preview my sample page, which is my home page. Okay, so as you can see, nothing is showing here. Okay, so I'm going to add a header from the design library, the design set. Let me just take the brewery and section and element headers. I'm just gonna add this header. Okay, so already I have a menu, so that's on some pages, that's why this is showing up. Okay, and then I'm gonna add an inner content element there. Now you see, as I added the inner content, the content of my page showed up. Now if you look at the structure panel, you see the header and the inner content. Actually, let me take away this. I don't like that. Let's check another design set. I need something more techy. Proteus sounds techy. I don't know what that means. Header. Okay. I just want something very simple. Okay, headers. Maybe that. Okay, let's do this. Alright. Okay, so yeah, we have the header. And then I'm going to add the footer, still from our design sets. Footer. Okay, that. Alright, so now we have the header and the footer. Okay, so I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to preview on the front end. Now, so you can see we have a header and a footer, but the problem is we have this footer, you know, hanging up here because you know, the content is not, you know, large enough, it's not tall enough to push it down. And this could be a problem if you have a very, you know, few contents in your page. So we're going to look at how to fix that. Typically, what I used to do was to select the inner content and then go to size and spacing, and then set the minimum height to maybe about 80% of the viewport height for the inner content, so that the inner content will constantly have a minimum height of 80% viewport height. Now that seems to solve the problem, but it introduces another problem. And what that is that it introduces this unwanted scroll bar, and we see that our content is barely enough for us to have, you know, to have scroll bar. And then so this approach might be like a sort of a hack, but it is not the appropriate fix for this. So we're going to take a look at how we can fix, you know, issues like this. So I'm going to go back and then take out that, and what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to check if my, you know, footer has a class. So I'm just going to give it a class of footer, okay, because we're going to target it with CSS. Now I'm going to go to manage style sheet. I'm going to add a new style sheet, okay, and then I'm going to just name it global style sheet. And yep, and now in that style sheet, what I want to do is to target the body. Okay, so if I go body, okay, and then I go minimum height 100 VH, and then save that. Now we wouldn't notice any change in this inside the Oxygen builder. So if I refresh that now, nothing happens. So I'm going to target the footer in the CSS. Now let me select this footer. Now this footer is if we go, okay, so no need to target it in the CSS. We could actually just set a margin top auto, because the footer uses a div, so it doesn't use a section. So we could just set that margin top auto, and then let's take a look at it. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Okay, so now let's go back to our style sheet and then do some more CSS. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the body to display flex. Okay, yeah, so let's check it out. Alright, so it displays flex, and we want to change the flex direction to columns. So flex direction column. I didn't add that. Okay, so let's just check that out. Alright, so you see that solves the problem, but you see we still have this scroll bar, okay? And that is because we are still using VH. So that's the problem with VH. It is it just gives, you know, it push, even if you give it 80, it's just, we're still going to have the same problem, okay? So as long as we're using viewport height, we're still going to have this scroll bar. So so what I'm going to do is to change from VH to 100%, okay? And then with 100%, let's take a look at that. And you see, it seems that the problem is returned. Now that's because we have not set the body, the parent of the body, which is the HTML element. So we're going to set the HTML element height to 100% also. Okay, so so we have the HTML, element 100%. Then we have the body, the minimum height. It's important that you use minimum height, not height, okay, to avoid some issues with your display. And I'm going to refresh that, and then that works perfectly. Now this scrolling here is as a result of the fact that we have this admin bar. So if I copy this and go to an incognito tab and put it the way we don't have the scroll bars, you can see that where we don't have the admin bar, you can see that there is no scroll bar. Everything here is perfect. Okay, so all right, so that's basically all you need to do to set up your main template. You have your header, you have your footer, and you have the inner content. And now once that is done, we can always go back, and then if let's say, let me go back to templates and then check the ones we've already created. So we have the 404 and the search results. So I'm going to click here, and you can see that now we can inherit the main template. So I'm going to inherit it and click save, and then I'll go to the next one, which is the 404 template, and then also inherit the main template. Now what you need to understand about some template is this. Now templates like 404 page is a kind of template that, since it inherits the main template, it's a kind of template that you will need to design the content of that template, meaning that for it to make sense, even if you create a template for the 404, you will not automatically have a 404 page. So you will need to design content. You will need to edit that template, and then design the contents of the 404 page. Okay, because if we go here and just say /404, let's say that is a page that is not available. Even if we have okay, it's coming back here. Let me use the incognito. Now, even if we have a 404 page, now there's no page called 404 here. Now, if you see, it's going to be empty. There is no message. So you actually have to go into that 404 page and design it. So let's say I want to edit the 404 template. Okay, I'm just going to add something and say page not found. I'm not going to waste time to so now, so you see the 404 template inherits, okay, the the header and the footer from the main template, and then that inner content that we added is what you're seeing here. Okay, now that inner content allows you to add elements. So I'm just going to add a section, and then I'm just going to add a header and say I'm going to say page not found. Okay, and just going to align stuff to the center. Okay, now let me save that. Now if we go back to the incognito, all right, the private page, now you're going to see that we have that page not found here. Okay, so even if I just write gibberish, and then press enter, see, it's showing us page not found. So you could add other stuff, just be creative with your 404 page. Okay, so that is for the 404. I'm going to close that, and then for the search page, you also need to create a template for how that search, design the layout of the search results, of course, using certain parameters. Now we're not going to go into detailing, we're not going to go into details of how to design all those templates. This is an introductory video on templates. So so we have these two templates inheriting the main template. Another template we're going to create is we're going to create the blog index, okay, template. Now the blog index, what that means is the first page if you're doing a blog website. Okay, now this is usually needed if you are doing a blog website. If your website is not primarily a blog website, you really I don't think you really need this, because this is like the home page. Now if you go to settings, reading, you find that if you have this setting to say your home page displays your latest post, that means once someone lands on your home page, well, the person's going to start seeing your blog post. Okay, for instance, this there's a website. Okay, let me just open a website, and Now, okay, look at this website. This is a blog site. Okay, immediately you land on the home page, all you see is the blog. You see in the blog post, different categories of the blog post and all that, and all the tags. So this is what a blog index does. Okay, it enables you to create this blog homepage. Okay, so and that means you're going to set this as your setting in the reading option when you're doing a blog site. Okay, for now I'm using this. My homepage is my static page. Okay, so for the blog index, all you need to do is to select blog post index. Okay, and that's all, and then inherit the main template. That is if you want to inherit the header, the footer, okay, of the main template. I'm going to click publish, and then to actually create a template for your individual blog post, which is the single blog post page. Okay, if you want to create the template for it, what you need to do is, let me close out these ones. What you need to do is to let's add a new template, and then I'm going to just call it single blog. Okay, single blog post. And for that one, you're going to go to single and then go to post. Okay, that's all you need to do. Single post. So it's going to apply to single post. Okay, and then I'm still going to inherit the main template, and then I'm going to create an archive. Okay, now an archive is, say you want to see the different categories of your blog posts. You want all of them to display a list of all your blog posts. Okay, so this is an archive page where it shows an archive of all the blog under a particular category. If you have all, maybe you included a category of all to show everything. This takes care of the archive template takes care of this layout. Okay, so that archive template can apply to categories, it can apply to tags. Okay, so if on that post you see you have categories and tags, so let's do that. So I'm going to call it blog archive, and then I'm going to inherit the main template, and then I'm going to go under archive, and then I don't want to check all archive because I want it to apply to only the blog post archive. If you check all archive, it is going to include the WooCommerce archive and all that. So I'm going to first of all I'm going to select these two. I want it to apply to taxonomies, which is taxonomies is the categories and the tags, and then the post type I'm going to say post. Okay, and then the taxonomy I'm going to click category and choose all category, and then I'm going to go tags. I'm going to click all tags. Now notice that the category on the blog post is different from the WooCommerce product category. Okay, so while I wrote category, you could see that it brought up all product category. That is not what we're looking for. And while I type tag, it also brought up all product tag. That is different. That is only when you want to create an archive for the WooCommerce product. Okay, so that does it. So that's the archive. I'm going to save that. Now, so we have a set of templates, which these are typically, if you are doing a website that has a blog, so this is typically the kind of templates that you want to create. There are many more other templates you can create, but these are kind of like the main template. And now what I want to do is we're going to look into creating template that you can nest, like nested templates, and of course this could pass for nested template. Okay, like the blog archive. Now, but the difference between what I'm about to show you is this. For instance, let me open the 404 template. Okay, let me quickly open it, and then what we're going to see is that because the 404 template inherits the main template, we just dropped in a section into this inner content that is from the main template. Okay, so we're not actually creating another inner content element, but you can create a template depending on what you want to do that can have an inner content inside an inner content. All right, to create nested layout. Now let's just check that out. Now I have a set of pages here. I have what is called Oxy add-ons, and then under Oxy add-ons, now I have Hydrogen Pack, Oxy Extras, and Oxy Ultimate as child pages for the Oxy add-on. And then what I want to do is that when I view the Oxy add-on page, and for instance, let me view my sample page. Okay, see how it is. Now you see my sample page doesn't look very good. Let's quickly see how we can sort that out. So I'm just going to edit. No. Okay, so I'm going to go to my sample page and click on edit. And then I'm going to choose a template for, which is my home page. My sample page is the home page. Okay, so it has the default template. So I'm going to update that. And then I'm going to edit with Oxygen. Now when we viewed that sample page, okay, what we found out was that, you know, the text, the content stretched from one end of the page to the other. Well, that's because when we created our inner content, we didn't add any margins and paddings to the inner content, and which typically you really don't need to, okay? And except you are maybe building a blog website, you just want to add where you're not expecting to have, you know, contents flush from one end. Maybe you don't want to have sections flushing from one end to the other. You really don't need to add any styling to that inner content, you know, in terms of padding. But if you were building maybe just strictly a blog website, and you want, or any website that you want your content to always be the page width, then you would have just dropped in a section before dropping the inner content inside that section in your main template. Okay, but now this is our this is our sample page, okay, our home page. So I'm just going to add a section, and then now since I'm adding it now, without adding a section, okay, I could view my my content, because it's just display, you know, the inner content, as it were, okay, because we have an inner content here. Okay, so but if I add a section and then save it, then if I refresh this, you see I'm not going to have anything, okay, because I have added something where you have that inner content. So it is assuming that I want to build, you know, some custom, I want to customize the way the contents look. So now I will have to, if I want to pull in that text, just that content from the Gutenberg blog, I will just need to go and add, go to WordPress, okay, and then go to dynamic data and just hit content, and I'll probably need to add maybe a title if I need to, the title of that page, okay, if I need to, okay, and then click save. So you see that it pulls in that content dynamically. That is if that is what I wanted to do, if I wanted to, you know, get the content from the WordPress editor. And then so if I refresh that, you see page, you know, content, you know, aligns, you know, it's just about the page width, because by default sections are set to be page width. Okay, sections are set to be page width. So I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to close this. Okay, so so I have this page. Okay, now let me go ahead and open my sample page again. Now I have a sample page here. It has this. I don't need these menus to show here, so I'm going to take those menus away. Okay, and maybe create a fake menu. I have this page, okay, Oxy add-on, and then I want a situation when I open the Oxy add-on page, okay. Now I've not set it to inherit to any template. That's because it doesn't have a template yet. I don't want it to inherit. I don't want it to use the main template. I want to create a separate template for it. So let me go ahead and create a template for it. But before that, let me explain what I want to do. I want a situation where when I open that Oxy add-ons page, I want it to have a separate template structure. It's a separate structure, a structure that is completely different from other pages, even though it is a page, even though it's taking up even though it's a page. All by default, all pages, you know, are inheriting the main template, but I want it to have a separate template. So I'm gonna just go to templates, then I'm gonna add new. Okay, now I want it to take to inherit from the main template. I'm gonna call this Oxy add-ons, okay, and I'm not particular about where it should apply, not necessarily, because I could just decide to use it anywhere. And okay, so I have that Oxy add-on, okay. Then I'm gonna go to my pages, and then I'll select that Auxi add-on page, okay, and then I wanted to use that template that I just created. Okay, so I'm going to choose it to use this. Now notice that this template doesn't have an inner content yet. That is why it's telling me to edit template. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and edit that. Let me close all these ones. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and edit this inner content template and add an inner content to it. Okay, so that we can have ability to edit the contents of our pages. Okay, all right, so this is so you can see this is the Auxi add-on template. Now it has inherited the main template. What we're going to do, we're going to create another template inside it. Okay, it's another structure. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to, now we have this, I'm going to add a section, and then I'm going to add maybe say I'm going to add maybe a div. Okay, I'm just going to duplicate that div. So we have two divs there, and then I just want this to stack horizontally, and then maybe this first div is going to be say maybe 30%. Okay, and then the second div is going to be maybe 70%. Okay, and then for this div I want to put a menu that has these three. So I created a menu for those 3 pages, okay, that were children of the Auxi add-on. So I'm going to add a menu element inside there. Okay, and then I'm going to set that menu to stack horizontally. Okay, and then I'm going to set the width. Sorry, what am I doing? I'm going to set the width to 100%. Okay, all right, and then I just want to go ahead and maybe edit the menu. I want it to have an active background color. Okay, and maybe a little bit lighter, and maybe the other things could remain the same. Hover background color, I could just do that and make it fainter. Okay, all right, so and then here I'm gonna drop. Now this is where where we're going now. Right here, since this is a template, I'm not gonna just put anything. Okay, I'm gonna drop say the title of the page. So I'm just gonna drop, first of all, I'm gonna go to dynamic content. Okay, and just drop the page title if I want the page title to be showing, okay, on that template. So it's permanent. And then the next thing I'm gonna drop there is, wait for it, another inner content. So I'm gonna drop it. See, it's dropping outside, so I'm gonna drop it right inside there. Okay, now, okay, so now so this is showing a sample page. I don't want it to show a sample page. Let it just show the Auxi add-ons page. Okay, all right, so we have this Auxi add-on and then our inner content, which doesn't, there's no content yet. Okay, but we have that inner content. So I'm going to save that. So we have our this sidebar and the title and an inner content. Now I'm gonna go back, okay, to the pages. Then I want all these pages to inherit, these 3 pages to also inherit that same template. Okay, so yep, so it's gonna inherit the Auxi add-on, this is gonna inherit the Auxi add-on, and this is gonna inherit the Auxi add-on. So I'm gonna update that. Okay, update all of them. Okay, and then for our Auxi add-on parent page, okay, I want to go in first of all and edit that. Okay, so I'm going to edit this page with Oxygen. Okay, all right, so you can see now that we are on this template, you can see what is happening here. So you can see that the inner content now is no longer the full screen, so it is nested inside the main the main template inner content. So we have a template inside, so we have our inner content here. So I can now click to add elements. So I could just say maybe I want to add a div. Okay, inside that div I want to add a heading. Maybe that heading will be H2. okay, and then I'm gonna add some text, and then I'm gonna add a button, okay, and then I probably want to get some content, so I'm just gonna say I'm gonna call these Oxy extras, and then I'm going to just you know, paste this text multiple times, just give me some content, okay. So yeah, just give some spacing and then get it now, okay, probably better with capital. All right, so we have that you know, template. We've added a content here, and I'm going to link this to the Oxy extras page, okay, that button, okay. All right, now or I think I should just write learn more instead of get it, learn more, okay. All right, so so yeah, I'm gonna just duplicate that that div, okay, 2 times, and then change this to I'm gonna save that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and edit this with Oxygen the same. I'm gonna just open all of them at the same time. I'm not working with classes, so, and then of course, what's the worst that can happen? This is just a demo. So I know Oxygen, you're not supposed to work on multiple tabs, okay, and that's because you don't want to screw up the classes, okay. But then I really don't think I have classes that I need to be worried about. Okay, so for this, now we have the hydrogen pack. You can see that our template automatically drops in the name, and we can see from our menu it's showing where we are, you know, where we are with the active sidebar stuff, okay. Now I'm just gonna add content to the hydrogen, so I'm just gonna add maybe a heading, okay, H2, and then I'm gonna add, let's just pick content from the hydrogen pack. All right, so I finished populating the, you know, the pages with content, okay. So I have my 3 pages here, okay. And one last thing, first of all, I'm going to go into this Oxy add-ons template and just, you know, deal with this spacing, and I'm also going to go into the main template and also remove this because I don't want this to be here, okay, on the regular pages. I don't want that menu to be there, okay. So I'm gonna open that template, okay. Then for the Oxy add-ons here, I'm gonna open that template also. So all right, so for my template, which is what is this Oxy add-on template, for this section, okay, for this section, this div, I want to add a padding, okay, or perhaps I should just add a spacing, maybe margin left of say 32 pixel, just to separate this, okay. And then for this other div, perhaps I want to add a right border, just something that is just, these are just cosmetic stuff, a right border of, let's say, maybe 3 pixel and something like that, okay. So yeah, you know, just to just make it look better. And then for the main template, oh, this is still there. All right, let's leave that. For the main template, okay, let me go back. So for the main template, I just want to just edit the main template. Okay, so in the main template, I do not want to have this menu. So I'm going to just take away that menu because I don't want that menu to be there, okay. in the main template. Okay, so what is this? So we have a text link, we have this div. Okay, and let's assume that we had other text link here, you know. So let me just add a text and then make that white, you know, and then I'm just gonna say this is a problem with Firefox, so I'm just gonna call this link home. Okay, so I'll move that up, okay, and call that home, and then I'm going to give it a margin, say, of maybe 16 pixels to the left, because I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, just call it about. So I'm just creating, you know, a fake menu item, you know. Okay, now this stuff, when you mistakenly select everything in Firefox, it's just it's an issue, it's just a bug in Firefox with Oxygen. So I'm going to go back to the admin. Okay, so now if I view my website, okay, so I can see that, you know, I have this, my home about, okay, and I don't have my page. Okay, let me go back to that, quickly go back to that template. I don't have my Oxy add-ons page, so that should be one of my pages. All right, so I'm just gonna duplicate this and just call this oh shit, I've done that again. So I'm just gonna call it Oxy add-on. Okay, and then I'm gonna just make that a link wrapper and just link it to the Oxy add-on. Okay, and then for my button here, the link wrapper, okay, I'm just gonna set the URL to be / to link back to the home page, and no need for this one, but let it be there. And then for this one, let me just push this. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna save that. Okay, so if I go back to view the website, okay, so I have all my menu item. Now all my pages are supposed to have, you know, this type of layout where you don't have any sidebar. But when I go to the Oxy add-on, okay, why is it going to the template? Okay, my Oxy add-on is a template. I linked it to the template. Is that what I did? No, I can't believe that. Let me go back. Oh dear, I linked it to the template. How did that happen? Okay, sorry about that, guys. So let me just go back to the main template and edit that. How is that possible? Could it be as a result of working with multiple tabs? Okay, so the Oxy add-on. Oh, it was linked to template. Oh no, it's template here. I'm supposed to link it to the page. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's just close that and then view our page. Okay, so we have the home page. Now if I go to the Oxy add-on page, so we see we have a completely different template where you know, I can either use this, okay, or I can use this. So if I click on Oxy extras, you know, it shows me that I'm on Oxy extras. Okay, now this is, so you can see that we have these Oxy add-on / Oxy ultimate, you know, pages. So we've been able to create a sub template inside our main template that applies specifically to, you know, a certain, you know, group of pages. Okay, so we have this, and then we can, so I could even decide that, you know, I don't want to have this here. Okay, I could make the Oxy add-on page, you know, use the main template, but still has this content, but you know, none of this will appear. All right, so that once I click learn more, and when we enter the Oxy extras, we can see this sidebar, you know, appearing, you know, for our you know, for our templates. Now, one thing we could do here is just to add maybe a text here, and then we call it Oxy add-on. So if I go into that, you know, Oxy add-on template, you know, just to make it look good. I mean, like I said, these are just cosmetic changes, but you know, I've been able to demonstrate that the functionality that you need to know to create that so I can add a heading, you know, and then just call it Oxy add-ons. Okay, Okay, so okay, so yeah, and then maybe my text color could be something like that. All right, so if we go back to the site, close that, and we go to Oxy Iron, so you can see, you understand, so even though you have this this writing here, you could always use this to, you know, view your other content. All right, so that is about it for this you know, this tutorial. So in this tutorial you've learned how to, you know, create a different template, and also you've also learned how to, you know, create a template with nested inner contents. So you have, you know, your content, you know, having its own inner content just in a very specific area of the page, you know, where every other thing around it is a template and it's nested inside, you know, another template. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, share this tutorial with others, and also like. See you some other time.